So it's telling me that we are going, the video is starting live. I haven't seen evidence that I'm live yet, but I'm not looking at my phone. Don't know. Oh, it says I'm live now. Yay! So, today I wanted to talk to you about our words, our thoughts, our actions, and the word negative and negativity. And I want you to kind of go with me on this. This is about bringing awareness to just about what we're doing, saying, being, just for our own consciousness, just for our own self. So, you know, I had an event yesterday, and 7 people RSVP'd. One person showed. And the person who showed said, well, that is so rude. That is so hateful of them. And I said, why? It's a business strategy meeting. These are people who want to get together and team up and build business. Their business is up to them, how they want to develop it. So I didn't get offended because I'm not in charge of everybody else's business. I'm not in charge of everybody's spiritual development. I can only be in charge of me. But she was really offended for me. And I said, but if I'm not offended, why are you? She goes, well, it's like flipping me the bird. I said, no, it isn't. It's like flipping themselves the bird. She's a wonderful woman. I absolutely love her to death. And I will be working with her in the future. But the people who didn't show up don't carry the same thoughts that I do. And it's okay. It's okay. Nobody has to have the same vibration as me. We're all different. We all know this. So we can't take it personal. We can't take anything that happens personal. One woman even sent me a message and said, I don't have anything to offer. I'd like to participate in this, but I can't offer anything because even all my clients have left me. And I thought, wow, I wonder why. Because you're speaking that into the universe. You're speaking that to every vibrating cell in your body. You're believing that, and so therefore you're creating more of that. And there's nothing you can do to fight that kind of thought process. The only thing I think I've ever been able to do to shift anybody in their arena is to brighten my light and to light the area around me so that I hold that space for them. And I don't even really enjoy using the word holding space because it's not about holding space. It's about going on with my work, and they can come and join if they want to, but it seems to be the comfort word and phrase, holding space, but that's okay. Further, someone told me, you know, you need to quit being negative, and I thought about this, and I thought, am I negative? I really had to think about that. The emotion I was feeling was disheartened. And I think, you know, we fluctuate between being our high metaphysical being self, trying to make that leap into universal love and unconditional love and open our heart to being disheartened. And while the word operates in the negative, I realized I myself was not negative. I expressed negative by my words. And I thought, wow, I need to really think this through. I mean, how do you express negative in your words and not in your actions? My actions are very positive. You know, I come to work every day, I smile, I get things ready, I put out the newsletter, I'm open for business, I'm encouraging people to seek spiritual teachers. I'm very much a positive, action-oriented person. But yes, my words were negative because I felt disheartened. Now, some other words that I think people don't understand have power is disgusted, disoriented, dismissed, misunderstood, mistaken. All of those words are negative in connotation. And they're also, when we have those feelings of disoriented, disgusted, discombobulated, disheartened, whatever, misunderstood, mistaken, all of those words that we look at leave us feeling depleted, our energy depleted. And that's what this is all about, is, do you feel optimistic when you're going, oh, I'm too tired to go to work. Oh, I'm too frustrated to go over here and take care of business. That leaves you depleted because you've already said that. You've already bought into that program of being that. It's not negative unless you allow it to govern your life. So the word disheartened is just disheartened. How your body reacts to it, because it's been trained to think disgusted, disheartened, disagreeable, disgusted, whatever, are very negative words. So when we use them, it's pretty amazing that our body's going to react that way. So we're going to slow down, we're going to get achy, we're going to get disoriented, we're going to get not feeling too wonderful about ourselves. I don't know what this is saying. The current frame rate is too slow. Please set the frame rate. Okay, so we're going to not learn more. We're going to keep going on with this. I don't understand what's happening, but that's okay. I will be investing in a new computer to do these things, because obviously mine is having issues. So, going through this, we need to reframe ourselves. We need to reframe our lives. We need to reframe all the things that we hear ourselves say and talk and do. Okay? Our energy is our signature. It is unique to us. No one has your vibration. Nobody has your energy signature. You are living multiple 10,000 lives on 10,000 different existences in 10,000 different incarnations, and all of them react to each other. So you can raise your consciousness here, and it'll affect your consciousness. Maybe you're an axe murderer, or you're, somebody who, was a king and was stealing and raping the land of money and leaving his people impoverished. So having raised the consciousness here, we affect those timelines. We affect that vibration, because your experiences make your vibration unique. And we know this. We need to hear ourselves. And the reason we need to hear ourselves is so we can heal ourselves. Because you cannot rewrite your story, your creating, until you recognize what it is that you're doing to self-inflict wounds on yourself. And that's what it's really doing. Those negative words that we think about ourselves or say out loud, they kind of stab us in the emotional psyche, and they, horribly mess with our head. We get into depression, and we get into a lot of things. We make ourselves ill because of it. So if we're holding and growing our light, the negative doesn't have a lot of place to live. It gives way. And then we can begin to share our light with other people. So, for example, I was a food and beverage manager. That's what my dad put me as, food and beverage manager. And I thought, I do not want to work with a restaurant. I said, you know what, I'll take over the bar. We owned 2 hotels. I took over the bar in one of the hotels, because I didn't, the kitchen was always staffing problems, inventory problems. The bar was small. You know, my sister loved being, her ego loved being the boss of chaos, and I never did. So I took over the bar, and I learned a lot of things from working in the bar. I learned that music changes people's moods. So when you're feeling like down in the dumps, and you're feeling challenged, and you're feeling like you're really missing out, you know, put some music on that makes you feel like dancing. You know, gotta feel like dancing. Okay, enough of that. It changes the mood, and people will drink accordingly. People who listen to sad songs, like, I was raised in a country town. A lot of the music on the jukebox was country. Somebody done me wrong song. Very, you know, my wife left me, my husband's cheating on me, I put a bar in my house, and even put the liquor light up so that he'd come home and spend some time, spend his money at home. You know, this kind of thing, and you're thinking, oh, you know, these are just songs, but they impact the way we think and feel. And it'll tell you that, you know, when your children are young, if they listen to the classics, classical music, Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, they will actually grow in IQ. They will actually have a higher IQ. So instead of putting them to get to bed to AC/DC, you should put them to bed with Brahms' Lullaby. Just say it. But I also noticed in the bar that people, when they drink, they're drinking because they're trying not to feel their emotions. And when they're trying to not feel their emotions, they end up expressing those emotions probably more vocally than they would had they just stuffed their emotions till they imploded. But that's a cycle that people go to. People drink to hide who they are and what they think and feel. And I'm not saying, you know, everybody who has a drink does this. I'm saying, you know, I'm talking about alcoholics. But they are doing this, and it changes their vibration. It lowers the frequency. Alcohol hits your liver, which is, you know, your liver, if you look at all evidence on holistic medicine, will tell you this is where people hold fear. And your kidneys is where you hold anger. So you're really taxing your body by throwing down a bunch of alcohol to keep that fear going and boiling in your liver. And of course it's going to affect your kidneys because it's got to filter through there. So there's your anger. So it just kind of blocks the cycle of moving through emotions. You watch a baby and they go, wow, I'm hungry. Okay, I'm fine. Wow, I'm wet. No, I'm fine. Wow, you put me down. I need to be held and loved. They will let you know, but they don't stay there unless they're colicky, and that's a story for another day, right? But I learned something. I knew a lot of recovering alcoholics. They told me almost to each one of them, the first time they took a drink, that was the first time they felt normal. I was like, wow, what's normal? Because the first time I ever took a drink, I felt sick to my stomach. I hated it. It was nasty. Didn't stop me from drinking when I was a teenager. It just didn't mean that I was seeking out that alcohol for a feel-good thing. But, you know, when they developed the program in AA, it became a very spiritual program. A lot of people don't understand that those 12 steps help you not to feel that negative about you. So the words aren't expressed, okay? Now that's not true with everybody. I still know quite a few people that even if they don't drink, they're very negative speakers. You know, I hate this and I just hate that person. And it gets kind of an overload. It's like a lot of emotion that goes through there. Well, we look at this and you think, okay, they're in a bad space. We can all slide down that way, but with the program, like the 12-step program of AA, they lose the fear because they've looked at everything that they have done wrong And they went and apologized for it. Well, they do if they work in the program. But they go and they apologize. They actually say, you know what, I am really sorry. I did this. I'm accountable. This was my part of what I'm apologizing for. They don't take responsibility for the stuff they don't have accountability for. They take only for them. So it really helps them to learn to re-love themselves. Now here's going to be the caveat. I know a lot of spiritual people. I do. They still struggle with their family. They still struggle with their family issues. I still struggle, not denying, I try to stand in the place of love, but sometimes it's kind of hard. But reaching that state of peace has to come from loving yourself. So what they learn to do when they hit bottom is they learn to let go of everything that they've done negative. Because that was back there, somewhere behind them. It's in the past. And since we're in a linear time consciousness, which is not really linear, as metaphysicians, we should be raising our consciousness to get into the moment and acknowledge, okay, we've done some really kind of crap things when we were younger, and we shouldn't be doing them now. So I'm going to change my viewpoint. I'm going to change how I treat myself. I'm going to change how I view myself. I'm going to change how I talk about myself. Because I have worth. Now, a lot of people they love living in the consciousness of chaos. They're subconscious at that point. They're not in their metaphysics consciousness. They're in their subconsciousness of loving chaos. A lot of people love that. I have family members who love it because then they get to be the victim. And if they get to be the victim, then you feel sorry for them. And you'll fix it for them, and they don't have to do a thing. I remember somebody told me one time in regards to one of my kids, they said, you keep fixing it. If they fail, they have to fix it themselves. And you didn't have to do any of the work. I was like, oh my God, I have permission to let my kid fail? Yeah, tough love, right? But, you keep trying to get them to school and keep trying to get them to recognize their self-worth and tell them all these great things and get them to do their homework and get them involved in the sports they want to be involved in, and you do all these things for them to not want to do it because that's not what they wanted to do. But they didn't tell you they didn't want to do it. They told you they wanted to, and then when they got into it, they didn't want to quit. So then there was the chaos, and then so they sabotaged it to fail, so they didn't have to do it anymore. Sound familiar? Because I'm pretty sure all of us can own that action. Failing so that we didn't have to be doing it anymore. I don't think I have to fail anymore. I think I'm going to be a great success in the future because I'm a great success now. I love who I am today, and I love who I meet. I have love for everyone that I come across because honestly, it's not about what it is in chaos. I don't like the chaos. I came out of Lowe's one day, and I was smiling and just minding my own business, and this guy said, "Why are you smiling?" And I said, "Because I can." Why would you ask me that? Who are you? And he said, "I need to hire you. I want you to come to work for me." And I said, "But I have a job. I work for myself." He goes, "No, I need you to come to work for me." And I said, "But if I went to work for you, I might end up like the rest of your employees, not happy and not smiling. But because I work for myself, I love the work that I do, so I can smile." And he said, "Well, how did you get there?" I said, "I took control of my surroundings and I started making myself happy." and I love what I do. I said, do you love what you do? And he goes, well, no, not really. I said, well, then how do you expect your employees to love it? If you hate coming to work, you're providing a space where they hate coming to work also. So, granted, all of us go through our dark nights of the soul, and we have to scramble to get back up, and sometimes it takes a few years to do it. But we don't always have to stay there, and we can change it by reframing ourselves immediately. Immediately, by talking wonderfully about ourselves. Even if it's just to you. Even if you're just saying, I am a great person. I have love. I have heart. I love the world. Don't go to, so why doesn't somebody love me? Stop it. Why sabotage who you are? Why sabotage who somebody else is by talking negatively of them? Yeah. We help keep each other's vibration low when we talk negatively. And we're all kind of rolling through that rumble, and we all kind of do it on some form or another, but we need to not, because we're wonderful people, and so are they. They are bringing information to us that makes us sad or angry or mad, so that we learn to start creating differently. So we should love the person that pisses us off the most. It's exactly what I said. We should love the person who pisses us off the most. Because the person who's pissing us off the most is the person who has the most information for us. Oh, wait a minute. Could it be that you piss yourself off more than anybody pisses you off? If that's the case, then you need to reframe again. You need to go back to the reframe. Reset, reframe. Because if you're pissing yourself off by getting overly worried and overly stressed out about things you cannot control, then that's silly. You're just feeding the monkey. And that monkey mind will play chaos. And you don't even have to invite anybody in your house to play it with you. You can just sit there by yourself and do it all alone. So fun, right? Not really. Not really. So what we need to do is we need to honor ourselves, love ourselves, and start talking good about ourselves. So even though we are metaphysicians, by saying, I am being attacked, I am being this, I am being that, own your stuff and say, I am being loved by the world, I am being loved by the universe. Every fiber of my being is loved. And it will be. Just keep talking. Just keep doing it. We need to understand the human aspects, and the human aspects can be released without guilt. We do not need to feel guilt or embarrassment or shame or anything else for what we've done. What we need to do is come to peace with it, because it taught you something. Love those bad actions, because that's not you any longer. I heard somebody say, I hate myself because I married the worst partner in the world. I should never have done that. I got what I deserved. I knew I shouldn't have married them. And it's like, and they brought them so far down that they had nowhere to go but up. So then they realized what they were doing and started mending the fence with their ex. Because it doesn't matter what the ex is doing. It just doesn't matter. Because you are not them. The reason they're an ex is because you moved past that. But you'll draw it back again if you keep trying to make that ex something more or something different or blame them. It's just about loving yourself. It's that easy. It's a hard thing to do, to be consistent. But you are capable of doing this. So, when people break their agreements with you, don't take it personal. I had to learn this one recently. It really hurt me. somebody had broken an agreement. And remember, I'm kind of I'm doing the deep dive. I'm redoing Michelle all over again. The Michelle that was before is becoming Michelle again. And it really hurt me that this person had broken their agreement with me. And now I'm able to go, you know what? They broke the agreement with themselves, not me. Because I'm still Michelle, and I'm still here. And Swanda's still on Fridays, and I can still say all these really cool things, and nobody is condemning me. Nobody is judging me. Everybody is going to be who they are, and they're going to take what they need to hear from me and apply it to their own life. I remember when I first started giving sermons, when I was training in metaphysics at the church, they told me, people don't listen after 15 minutes. They quit listening. So keep your sermons to under 15 minutes and under. Well, I probably spoke most of the time between 5 and 10 minutes, because I was of the understanding that, when you're talking that much, because it was intense, heavy metaphysics. It wasn't concepts. It was intense metaphysics. That energy can build, and people will take what they want or need to from what you say. And that's the important thing to remember. You will be a great teacher if you deliver everything in its entirety to the best of your ability, with the completed consciousness of understanding that everyone who listens will take exactly what they need to hear from you, and you can't buy into anything else. There's no other buy-in, no emotional buy-in for the person listening and for the person delivering. So, it's powerful when we do this. Now, when we're working with people, we can't send unsolicited healing. That's like, you could be messing with their ability to process what they need to process. You're sending them healing energy, and you know what? It may be too much, it may be too little, it may be taking them in a different direction. So the only thing that we can really do, unless somebody asks for our help and our healing, the only thing that we can do is stand in our integrity and provide light, and ask that the world receives the light of consciousness and work toward raising consciousness. And when you do that, you'll start changing them. They will have a space to change from. You cannot get into anybody else's struggle. That's buying into their negativity, and it's easier to sink down than it is to go up, so get your vibration up so that they have a place to follow. When we let's see, I'm looking at my notes, seeing what I haven't covered. When we need to try to bring our self, our physical self, human self, back into balance with our spiritual self. This is what is going to bring your light brighter and make your power of your gifts much more palpable, much more effective, is when we balance the human aspects with the spiritual self. When we do that, we get out of that negativity. And you can do that with a few moments of calm, with a few moments of just sitting there and going through your chakras, seeing how they're going. Your chakras are reflective of your thoughts, okay? So they will react. So if you're living in fear, okay, that third chakra will blow up and be like, bam, 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 and so everybody can feel you coming. So if you just take a few breaths and calm your mind, calm yourself down, and move yourself out of the fear, you're going to have a really great time for the rest of the day. Everything will fall into place. If you're so over worried about how you sound and how you speak, or what people are hearing, if you're overly focused on your throat chakra, you're going to play havoc with this. Let me tell you, there is no nobody can fine-tune your chakras permanently. They can do it just for the time you're on the table. They can help bring you into balance, bring you into that calm. The minute you get off the table, your thoughts will make them flow the way they're going to flow. So we don't need to worry about whether they're open or closed or positive or negative, except by the actions that they show us. They give us information. So if you understand how the chakras do that, great. If not, talk to me and I'll give a class on chakras. But it's about understanding that they are going to flow and ebb and flow, and that energy, let them do what they need to do, as long as you bring it down to that calmness. Get out of that thought that you have to be somewhere, do something, be a hero. Quit the ego. The ego will screw up your chakras better than anything I've ever seen in my life. They are a living, breathing part of you. Another way to get from the negative and negativity is eating right and resting well. How many of us go to sleep at about the same time every day? Well, I can tell you my ex, he would be on Facebook before he went to bed, and he would, the first 2 hours of sleep, it was chaos. It was toss, turn, snore, snort, move, throw the covers, grab it. He was angry because he loves to buy into the political climb. And he would get so angry because he should have said this and he should have said that in his sleep. So I just got to the point that when he would have those nights, I'd grab my blanket and I'd go sleep on the couch because I didn't have that problem. I usually read something pretty spiritual, pretty powerful in what I'm doing. I tried to keep myself grounded because I already knew. And it's the same with TV. TV, watching the news. Oh my God. I had somebody tell me, well, the IRS is shut down. And I said, no, it's not. I haven't watched the news in probably 4 months. None. No news at all. At least 4 months. I can tune into what's happening. I can hear a snippet and see more. And this is the part that we really matter. This is the part where we really own who we are, is by letting go of the things that upset us before bed, so we get a sleep-filled night, we're rested, and we're eating nourishing food instead of sugar to keep us going. Trust me, I've done that one too. So they came out with gluten-free Oreo cookies, and let me tell you, those gluten-free Oreo cookies are a diabetes death wish for me, because I can't eat just one. They're Lay's potato chips, I can eat one. Oreo gluten-free cookies, that bag is gone in 2 days. So, carrots. And then breathe. Breathe. Try to stay away from harsh chemicals. I'm really not a fan of dryer sheets. They emit carcinogens out throughout your house. They've got these really great little wool balls you can throw in there. It softens your clothes without any scent. Plus the fact that when you're wearing scent, people like me who are chemically sensitive, because I use nothing with chemicals, tend to kind of back up, and it's like, bleach. I'm not a fan of bleach. These are things that are harsh to our bodies, and they're harsh to our system. Remember, your body goes through a 7-year cycle. So all your cells are regenerated within 7 years. Everything in your body is a brand new body in 7 years. You do not have to age unless you're throwing down crap food and crap chemicals and doing all this horrid stuff that we do. Doesn't have to age. It doesn't have to have that dragging out. You can live for a long time with proper sunlight and exercise and happy thoughts, and you can live a healthy, complete life. You don't have to go into decrepitude. You can do some amazing things. Your mind is still active, and you can still, like me, write a book. I joined a writing group. have to say I'm really excited. I just started it on Tuesday, and now I'm enthused about doing something for me that's positive for me, and I don't have to watch the news, because that would make me angry. And I don't want to be angry, because I don't want to buy into other people's thought processes. So remember that your body is a new body, and today, count today as the 7th year day, 7-year anniversary, boom, and start fresh, start new, putting those thoughts of letting the light go through every molecule of every cell, of every nucleus, of every piece of your body, and make it a vibrant you. And own the fact that, yeah, once in a while you're going to slip and say something kind of crappy. You might flip somebody the bird, but back it up and apologize to the universe and say, I don't have to be that person anymore. I am not that person anymore. I am a magnificent human being. I am fabulous. I am wonderful. And just know that that's who you are, and you will change everything about you. You don't have to buy into the negativity, and you don't have to buy into the negative, and your words will be reflecting it. So, a little something I wanted to touch and ask you guys about. I am seriously going to open the center for Thanksgiving Day from noon to 4 for a potluck. If you are interested in coming by and being a part of this, please RSVP for me, because people have to plan on how much food to bring, what's going to happen. We need to know vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, nut allergies. So if you're interested, I want to hang out with you guys on Thanksgiving. For anybody who wants a place to go and doesn't really want or have family, think about it. My heart to all of yours. Bye now.